You have a choice to make, and for the first time in Honkai Star Rail, we are presented with having to choose between 3 5-star limited banners. We have 2 new DPS characters to choose from, and 1 rerun of the former best DPS in the game in Seele. Each of those banners comes with a few 4 stars that also need to be discussed, so in this video we will evaluate how much value each banner has for free-to-play and light spenders alike. But before we begin, let me hit you with today's subscriber challenge. If you currently have less than 8k Stellar Jade or 50 special passes saved up, sorry to say I caught you lacking and you gotta subscribe to the channel. Maybe next time I won't catch you slipping. Now let's get right into the video. The first banner we're going to be talking about is going to be the Jingliu banner. I'm just going to say that this banner straight up has tremendous value for free-to-play and light spenders too. Jingliu is looking to be one of the best DPS units in the game. Probably not better than Dan Heng, but still very, very strong. More so if you have units like Pella, if you have her E4 or Silverwolf. She provides enough DPS to hyper carry a team, and is also very skill point friendly enough to fit into a sub DPS or co DPS role, specifically when talking about running her with somebody like Blade, which they synergize incredibly well with. She is relatively easy to build as she gives herself 50% crit, and she has almost 38% crit damage already built into her traces. All you really need to give her is a little bit of speed, and if you have a Bronya, you can opt to just skip that entirely and run full attack percent on her build. We could go much deeper into Jingliu's kit and how to build her, but that is going to be for another video. In my opinion, the real value in this banner comes in the 4 stars, specifically Tingyun. Tingyun is straight up a 5-star wrapped up in a 4-star package, and the fact that you can get more than 1 copy of her while pulling for Jingliu is absolutely insane. Her E1 just grants you 20% speed, 20 ally with benediction, making it really possible to run Jingliu or any DPS for that matter with little to no speed investment. She's also the only unit in the game that can give energy regen to any ally, and it's not even a little amount. It's like 50 energy or 60 energy if you have her E6, which is insane in of itself. And as if that wasn't enough, she also grants 20% damage increase for 2 turns on whoever she uses her ultimate on. Her ultimate is just insane. Tingyun's ultimate is crazy. She also increases units attack by up to 15% of her own for 3 turns and make them do extra lightning damage on top of that. Honestly, Tingyun is a real price in this banner. I'm sorry, Jingliu mains and QQ mains. Getting 1 Tingyun is already a massive W, but if you get more than 1, it's just crazy value there. Next up, we got QQ, historically the most underrated DPS in the game. She started showing what she was truly capable of when Swarm Disaster came out, and she started like swatting all these bugs all over the internet. You saw solo QQ runs. So yeah, QQ got a massive usage increase when the release of Swarm Disaster came out, and if you have her at E4 and above, she does crazy damage. She's easily one of the best DPSs in the game, also while being a 4-star. So if you're looking at a quantum DPS for Swarm Disaster or just a quantum DPS in general, going for QQ as well, like getting a few extra copies of QQ is just chef's kiss, especially if you get her to E4. Trust me, you will not regret it. Now we have to talk about the dud of the banner, and unfortunately it's going to be our boy Sampo. Don't get me wrong, Sampo isn't bad in some team cons, but at this point it's useless to run him without a Kafka, and if you pulled for Kafka, like odds are you already have Sampo maxed out or close to maxed out. So pulling a Sampo in Jingliu's banner is not really that great. Overall, Jingliu's banner is bonkers, is really good value, an absolute W. It's a great value banner for free-to-play light spender. Actually, anybody who doesn't have a Tingyun already should be at least dropping at least 2 or 3 multis in this banner. On the off chance you get a Tingyun, I think it's worth it. Pulling a Tingyun, an extra copy of Tingyun if you don't have her maxed out already, is going to provide a lot of value to any account. Moving on to the Tax Collector's banner, Topaz and Numbi, I'm just going to say right now, they're going to be a really good DPS or sub DPS depending on how you want to use them. They also look like a very fun unit to use. She has the ability to hyper carry with high investment, but being a single target damage dealer might not be ideal since even her single target damage isn't that impressive compared to Dan Heng, but I mean whose is compared to Dan Heng. But if you run a team with Kafka, for example, Kafka has a follow-up attack that's very easy to trigger, which could mean that she could be a great partner for Kafka because every time Kafka triggers her follow-up attack, Numbi's gonna get advanced and Numbi's gonna just go ham, pun intended, whenever Kafka activates it. Another really good partner would be Herta since her follow-up attack is AoE and it'll always hurt the enemy that has proof of death, pushing Numbi forward 50% of the bar every time. So every time you hear that, you know that Numbi is not going to be too far behind. Topaz also provides really good value outside of battle by helping you finish your treasure and trotter hunts in the outer world. She helps you up your credit economy a little bit. It's not game breaking or necessary, but very nice to have. I think Topaz and Numbi are just a luxury pull and not a must pull or must have character if you ask me. Next up, we're going to talk about another new character called Guinaifen. She's straight up Kafka's new best friend and partner. He applies burn dot and can detonate the burn dots and then Kafka can come right after her and detonate it again. If you're a Kafka main, you straight up need Guinaifen. She makes the enemy team take more damage when they have her debuff on them. That, by the way, stacks up your 3 times, so your Kafka is going to be doing nutty damage. So honestly, this is a very, very nice option to pick up if you're a Kafka main. It will definitely buff up your Kafka team for sure. Now, the last 2 units, I'm going to put them together, and those are going to be Luca and Sushang. They are going to follow the same tune as Guinaifen, but not to the same extent, in the sense that they both synergize with Kafka very well due to their bleed break effect, and then both being fantastic toughness breakers. Luca's a little bit better partner than Sushang for Kafka in my opinion, but they serve a similar role in that team. And that's pretty much all the value you would get from these two. And again, if you summon for Kafka, odds are that you already have a Luca with multiple Eidolons already, so picking up more Luca copies is nice, but overall, you would rather pick up a Guinaifen over a Luca, which is going to hold more value for your Kafka team in the first place. So overall, this is a luxury banner pull in my opinion. If you have a stacked Kafka team or if you're a Kafka main, doing a few multis trying to get a Guinaifen would be nice, and if you end up pulling Topaz and Numbi, then also nice because you can run some fun teams, you have more credits. So to me, this banner is the luxury pull banner. Now we have one more character we need to discuss, and this is the rerun of the former DPS queen Seele. Her 4-star pull is the same as Topaz and Numbi, so we're not going to go into that, but being a quantum character already holds incredible value, even more so if you're a quantum DPS character. Seele does crazy amounts of damage to a single target and can also clear a whole fight in 1 or 2 turns because she continuously gets more and more turns as she kills them. But this is assuming that you're going to be one-shotting enemies, which means that you need a nice amount of investment for her to be able to do that, whether it be in her own build or in her support. And that is where her issues start. Seele needs a lot of investment in her build, also in her support. Straight up, if you don't have a Bronya in your account, I wouldn't really be considering pulling for Seele, even though she doesn't necessarily need Bronya, but Bronya just takes Seele to a whole nother level, pretty much makes her go ultra instinct. In other words, I can't justify pulling for Seele when other DPSs, including some on this very update, can be more useful with much less investment. Seele needs the whole team to be dedicated just to her, as were the other 2 DPS units that we just talked about, Jingliu and Topaz, can be more flexible in their team options. They can fit into any team. They don't require as many skill points. So you're going to be a lot more flexible in team comps when it comes to that. Another detracting factor is that her banner is just complete garbage for Seele. Like it holds no value at all. No unit you can pull on Seele's banner is going to help you or Seele to be better, you know? And honestly, unless you came into the game later on and you're absolutely in love with Seele, then I would steer clear of this banner. It holds no value for free-to-play players or even light spenders, because like pulling just one Seele in your account, yeah, you have a DPS, but it's not even going to be that great for you. All in all, if I was considering summoning on these banners and had some limited resources, and I absolutely had to pick one of these banners to pull on, I would ask myself, do I have a Ting Yun? If the answer is no, I'll do a few pulls on the Jingliu banner. If the answer is yes, I would ask myself then, do I need another DPS character? If I need another DPS character, I will go for Jingliu. If no, I would just skip. And also, am I a Kafka simp? If I am, then I pull for Guinaifen. If no, I just hard skip. If you don't have Ting Yun and you're a Kafka simp, then God be with you, because you're gonna have to pull on both. And you know, I know a lot of people will pull on both, but it's not, I wouldn't recommend it if you're free to play or even if you're like a light spender. So that is gonna be my analysis on the 1.4 banners. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and until next time guys, see ya.